Hi everybody, welcome to BrickVault, it's Mike here and welcome to our top 10 mocks video, a weekly episode on every Sunday where we show our favorite mocks that we happen to bump into over the course of the last week. At the end of the episode, you can also find your fan creations that you guys submit to our BrickVault Fan MOCs email, and then we put them in the video, and we really appreciate all those awesome stuff. If you want to submit more for next week's video, all the rules are in the description below. You can also find the links to each and every mock of the top 10 ones if you want to check out the Flickr pages of those awesome creators. Also, don't forget to give them a follow. And before we get into the list, don't forget to check out our web store at www.brickvault.toys, where we provide a lot of awesome mocks ranging from Batmobiles up to awesome minifig scale Star Wars ships. You can find instructions and parts lists from big models to small ones. Check those out. Every purchase you make supports our channel directly and also the designers that we work with. And this week's top 10 list is somewhat unique, consists of small builds that I was really impressed by. This is number 10 by Chris Madison. It is simply titled Melting. And well, you can see it's a melted brick that's somewhat turning into a puddle of, well, melted plastic. This mock is pretty much right on time because right now here in San Diego, as of this recording, we are expecting and experiencing quite a heat wave, and yep, the temperatures are pretty crazy, the asphalt is melting, and I guess Lego would not withstand those temperatures if left at sun as well. But going to the build, it's a bigger scale. You can see the studs are like size of a 2x2 plate, a round plate that is, and definitely the build is pretty fun, with all the angles captured in the middle of the melting point. Definitely a great example of simple use of bricks, great understanding of shapes, and how a melting process would actually look like if a Lego brick was to be heated up to this point. This next one here comes from Reid. It's titled Turtle with a Missile Launcher. Again, a small build, but again, a really impressive one. The turtle itself is very simple. Reminds me of something maybe from Ghost in the Shell. There's a simple build for that missile launcher. Looks like the MLRS system from the US Army. But what really grabs attention is the use of ice cream cones, ice cream pieces actually, for the blast, the back wave, the blast behind the actual rocket launch. Awesome use of colors, showing the fire turning into then a bit of a burst and smoke. And the smoke goes into different angles as you would expect from a backfire of a missile. You can see he also used one of the new pieces from superhero sets with the blast element. And overall, I do really appreciate the dynamic of the scene, the captured moment, if I may, and just overall creativeness of this tiny but quite powerful and with a lot of firepower mock. And number 8 is also a simple but very nice looking build, kind of in that summer spring vibes, if I may. And this one comes from a Russian builder. Let me try to read her name. Olyaga Rodionova. I think my Cyrillic is still rusty, but maybe I did that right. And this must be a daisy flower, I presume. Really great choice for pieces for the petals. I think this one comes from Bionicle. I think this is kind of a claw piece that I think I've saw a number of times. And a lot of things in yellow to show the center of the flower. 3 of them stand in this colorful vase, and I believe that is something if you like see on a table from afar, you would not tell immediately that is a Lego. I like the use also for the shell pieces, for the lower part of the flowers, and overall very aesthetic photography to capture it all. That is first time I experienced this builder, and she seems to have a lot of awesome things in the Flickr page, so definitely check that out. Now with number 7, I would say this might be ex aequo with number 8, I was not sure entirely. Please remember that this list is very subjective, I'm not really focusing on the ranking of the mocks. This one shows a very simple scene as well, just a simple rocky formation at the shore. But if you look closely, the whole swan build, or is that a duck? Maybe a swan, is a very clever build. That is just a white stud shooter with a horn piece in the back, a minifigure hand in orange, and just a 1x1 stud. And it creates a very nice build for a waterfall specimen. That is what won this mock over for me, definitely very creative, you have to look closely to really appreciate it. This comes from David Zambito and he is very talented builder, you gotta check him out if you haven't already. And moving up the list, this is number 6, a well-known builder, Norton74, has come with awesome thing again. Again, I like his aesthetics of the builds, very simple in form but quite awesome looking with all the stickers and colorfulness involved. This is a long title for a mock called The Italian Way, AGIP Gas Station and OM Leoncino Tanker. I believe those are brands that are popular in Italy. Norton again is known for using a lot of custom stickers for his mocks, which in the end look very good. And as much as I love this station, I gotta focus on the tanker because this is one of the best looking trucks that you would like to put in your Lego city that I have probably seen this year. A very realistic looking build with very well crafted cabin. You can definitely see its minifigure scale matching with the minifigure height very well. And of course a studless build for the tanker in the back, probably looking very close to the original thing. We have featured Norton's builds a number of times and he never ceases to amaze me. And after all these awesome building creations, I wish to maybe see a diorama of his with all his awesome builds and buildings that he has created so far. So Norton, if you're watching, consider that, I would love to see that. Going up to number 5, this is a build that captured my attention because of, again, simplicity to its finest and very good use of quite rare pieces. This is called Who Ya Gonna Call? Mice Busters by Sweetman. And examining the scene, you can see first the mice. I think those come from the collectible series. I think the one with the elephant that was having this mice. So quite a rare piece to get in the first place, and the whole wall pattern is made by a 2x4 tile with a print that comes in only one set, the classic Batcave. You can see this style used in the office of Bruce Wayne in the mentioned set, and looking at the MOC, I think he has a number of them, so that might have been really hard to get. The cat is definitely Snowball from Simpsons collectible minifigs, and overall the use of wooden planks for the floor and for the border at the wall is just mesmerizing. I love this scene a lot and it has everything I'm looking for in a simple custom Lego awesome build. Number 4, another tiny build. Man, I was really lucky finding these this week. And this is very nostalgic to me. I was reading Donald Duck comics when I was a kid for like years. The car that he was driving, the famous red thingy that was having the 313 license plate, was shown in a number of comics, and this is probably the best build I have seen for this like ever. Looks like made for the minifigure, scaled very well. A number of awesome techniques used here. I especially like the scarf from Ninjago, the lower part of the mask, used for the ring around the front headlights. Also that window with the crate matches very well for his radiator, and it's just such cute build in such awesome scale that I cannot stop drooling over it. This build comes from Oliver Becker, and that is no amateur builder. He has a number of awesome builds on his account. Check it out, I'm gonna of course leave a link below. Number 3 is simply called the Magic Circle. This comes from Pyett. And for those of you who are a bit into Lego, you know how hard it is to create a perfect circle just using the bricks. Jason seems to be using a very intricate technique to get this done, and he made it happen pretty much. He goes a bit further with this design, making a great looking clock plate. And he also shares the process on his Flickr page if you want to know exactly what techniques he used to create this awesome shape. That is again quite difficult just using bricks. This builder is known for creative builds using awesome techniques, especially for roads. Check out the Flickr page if you wanna see some really advanced building, but this circle really was quite impressive for this week. For number 2, this time around I'm choosing the mech of the week, and this is from César Soares. This guy is called the GM20 Marvin 2033 model, and you gotta admit that's one of the most unique mechs or robots you have probably seen in our pretty much all the top 10 MOCs videos. According to the designer's description, Marvin is a specialized robot often used on construction sites. This heavy-duty robot was specially designed for executing construction tasks, most frequently ones involving earthwork operations. Versatile, robust, reliable, and cute. Marvin is the man for every task, if only he was easily programmable. That's end of quote, and I agree with pretty much every single word in it. It's cute, it's most likely reliable, seems very robust, and must be versatile with all those awesome things that he has on himself. The mech itself is awesome, but also the build for the plug and the small 4-man minifig next to a bunch of materials for construction just make for a very living scene and quite a nice display. You gotta also appreciate the blades of grass just poking through the concrete. And for number 1 spot, I had a pretty big problem with choosing only one set. That is why I have chosen 2. Decide in the comments which one is better. The first one here is coming from the legendary Lego 7. This is the Hulkbuster, at least his take on it. Now, Lego 7 has designed a modification for the official UCS Hulkbuster set quite a while ago, adding some posability and joints for the knees. But now he has changed a bit more, actually using most of the parts from the set to create his own version, and my god, this looks awesome. The armor looks much more accurate to the movie. The thing looks much more sleek, especially the compartment with the Iron Man inside. That looks really awesome, holding the figure really well inside. Things in the back have also changed, and the thing just looks much more beefy and much more intimidating. I definitely prefer this version over the set, Lego 7 just showing off his awesome skills of building, and that is probably as good as a Lego Hulkbuster can get. And the second number 1 spot is something bigger than most of the sets in this week's top 10 MOCs list. This is Karak Kadrin, AGIP, coming from Dwalin Forkbeard. A really awesome looking massive build for a stronghold in the mountains, but this is no ordinary stronghold. It comes from Warhammer Fantasy, a less known, less popular lore or theme in terms of fantasy than, let's say, Middle Earth. I'm not into it, but the designer is, and I do appreciate it because I was playing a bit of Warhammer 40k, not into the fantasy Warhammer as we speak. Karak Kadrin is also known as the Slayer's Keep. It is a dwarf stronghold which guards the Peak Pass, an important trading route which runs through the World's Edge Mountains from the distant east to the Old World, according to the description and the lore behind the set. You can see some awesome decorations on the walls showcasing this might of the dwarves in the north, if I may. A massive looking gate leading into the keep. Quite mesmerizing build for a dwarf's face, or maybe the leader of or the king of the dwarves above the gate, and a bit of the mountain built into the back of the stronghold. I am not entirely sure if this thing has interiors, but it has to have. And on top of that you get a bunch of builds for weaponry of the dwarves, and also the minifigures are prepared very well for this mock. It's quite a refreshing thing to see a build from a different fantasy lore than Lord of the Rings or any other ones that are more popular in LEGO, and I think Dwalin pulled it off with a lot of success. Alright, and that's gonna be it for this week's top 10 mocks. Believe me, I had more than 10 mocks to choose from, like this awesome old desktop desk by Chris McVeigh. There was the awesome OWL VFD Tower Ladder Truck by Robson M, another amazing builder with awesome cars. Or for example this beautiful 1928 Bugatti Type 37A from Pixel Junkie, a great take on the Bugatti when the beautiful Chiron set is on the shelves. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's list, and now it's time to show off your fan creations. If you want to submit more creations for next week's episode, you can submit them through email in the description below. Also the rules are below as well. Please follow them, it just makes it a bit easier to create all those videos for you. And without too much more talking, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications button if you want to know whenever we upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching, it was Mike, and I'll see you next time on BrickVault.
Always.